Ever imagine yourself like on the absolute frontier of a tech revolution?
Yeah.
Well, today's deep dive might just convince you to dust off that resume
Okay.
because we're stepping into the world of metal additive manufacturing.
Interesting.
You might know it as 3D printing, but with metal,
Uh-huh.
and specifically the career of a metal additive manufacturing operator.
Cool.
And let me tell you,
It's not just some futuristic fantasy anymore.
right,
This field is booming.
we've got a stack of RoleCatcher resources to guide us here.
Okay.
From career overviews to interview prep, talk about a treasure trove.
Nice.
So no more mystery.
Okay.
Let's break down what these operators actually do day to day.
Yeah, what's fascinating here is that the RoleCatcher Career Guide, it highlights how central these operators are to the whole manufacturing process.
Really?
It's not just about overseeing machines. They're the ones bringing those designs to life, layer by layer, in metal.
Okay, so we're talking like industrial grade 3D printers here. Some using lasers, others using, electron beams
Right?
to fuse metal powder, right? It's
Yeah.
fascinating stuff.
It is.
But the guide also mentions a lot about problem solving.
Yes.
It's not just about pushing buttons.
Absolutely. Metal additive manufacturing operators, they need to be able to troubleshoot on the fly.
Wow.
Think about it. You're dealing with cutting-edge technology,
Right.
intricate designs and materials with their own quirks.
Uh-huh.
The ability to diagnose issues and find solutions, both for those everyday hiccups and the really complex challenges, that's where a skilled operator becomes invaluable.
And I'm guessing that's a big part of why this career path is seeing such high demand these days.
Exactly. This high demand, it stems from a shortage of skilled professionals who can operate these complex machines. Companies, especially in industries like aerospace, automotive, they're practically fighting over experienced operators.
Wow.
That translates into excellent job security and competitive salaries.
Okay, so not your average factory job then. Speaking of which, what about the actual day-to-day environment for a metal additive manufacturing operator? The RoleCatcher guide uses the word dynamic,
Yeah.
which feels like an understatement.
Dynamic might be selling it short.
Yeah.
Imagine walking into a space where you're surrounded by cutting-edge technology and it's constantly evolving.
Wow.
You're working with lasers or electron beams, which means strict safety protocols are paramount. We're talking potential exposure to hazardous materials here.
Ooh, hazardous materials. You've definitely got my attention. But it does sound like they take safety seriously if the guide is emphasizing protocols that much. What else does it say about the day-to-day?
It's a highly collaborative field.
Okay.
Operators, they aren't siloed away. They're interacting constantly with engineers, technicians, quality control specialists. It's a real team effort to ensure those 3D printed components meet the highest standards.
So you're not just a cog in the machine, you're part of this intricate dance of bringing these complex designs to life. That level of collaboration, working alongside such a diverse group of people, it sounds like it would keep things interesting.
Absolutely. And because this technology is evolving so rapidly, there's a constant need for learning and adaptation. You're not just learning a fixed set of skills. You're constantly on the cutting edge, expanding your knowledge base.
So it's not a career for those who shy away from a challenge.
Right.
But what about the flip side? What are some of the drawbacks that the guide highlights?
Yeah,
After all, no job is perfect.
you're spot on. Every job has its trade-offs.
Right.
Thankfully, the RoleCatcher Guide doesn't shy away from the cons.
Hit me with the reality check.
Okay.
What are some of the downsides they point out?
Well, for starters, this isn't a field you could just waltz into straight out of high school,
Great.
It requires specialized training
Yeah.
and often an associate's or even a bachelor's degree in a related field.
That makes sense, especially with all those lasers and electron beams flying around.
Right.
It's not your average 3D printer setup.
Right. Exactly.
What else does the guide highlight?
It also stresses the need for meticulous attention to detail.
Oh.
Remember, you're building objects one super thin layer at a time.
Right.
Even a tiny error can, snowball into a big problem down the line.
Wow.
So precision and focus are key.
So not a job for those who get bored easily then.
Definitely not.
You've got to be on top of your game at all times.
Yeah.
But I imagine those potential health and safety risks we talked about earlier also factor into the downsides.
Absolutely. Working with lasers, electron beams, and potentially hazardous materials means safety is paramount.
Yeah.
The guide really emphasizes the importance of following strict protocols
Right.
and wearing appropriate protective gear at all times.
Safety first, for sure.
Always.
It's a reminder that while this field is pushing boundaries, it's not without its risks.
Sure.
But for those who are up for the challenge, what does the career ladder look like? Thankfully, the guide has a whole career stages section to shed some light on that.
Yeah, it's like a roadmap showing you the typical progression from entry level, where you're
Yeah.
learning the ropes and mastering basic machine operation,
Uh-huh.
to junior, where you might take on more responsibility, maybe even some troubleshooting.
Okay.
Then, as you gain experience, you move up to mid-level, potentially overseeing projects or training newer operators.
Right.
And finally, you reach the senior level, leading teams, managing complex projects, and often contributing to the advancement of the technology itself.
Wow. So the possibilities for growth are pretty extensive.
They are.
And with the industry growing so rapidly, I'm guessing those advancement opportunities are only going to increase.
Precisely. Companies are going to be clamoring for experienced operators who can not only manage these complex processes, but also lead teams and innovate.
Wow.
That's why it's such an exciting time to be entering this field.
It sounds like it. So for anyone listening who's thinking, okay, this metal additive manufacturing operator thing sounds right up my alley, RoleCatcher has your back.
They do.
They've got this treasure trove of resources to help you ace those interviews and navigate a career transition.
It's true.
What really stood out to me was their interview prep material.
Yeah, their interview prep is next level. Did you know they have a database of like 120,000 tailored interview questions?
120,000, that's incredible.
I know, right?
Talk about being prepared for anything.
Right.
And then there's this RoleCatcher.capture plugin, which seems like a total game changer for streamlining the job search.
It is Imagine. No more endless scrolling through job boards.
Oh, man.
With RoleCatcher Capture, you can just scoop up postings from different sites and have them all organized in one place.
It really does streamline the whole process.
It really does. And, of course, you need a top-notch CV or resume to even, like, get your foot in the door.
Which is where RoleCatcher's AI-powered tools come in clutch, right?
Yeah.
Helping you optimize your applications to stand out in a sea of candidates.
It's like having a career coach in your pocket,
Oh.
analyzing your experience, suggesting keywords, just like helping you put your best foot forward.
So we've journeyed deep into the world of a metal additive manufacturing
They
operator.
have.
What they do, the pros, the cons, the exciting career trajectory,
Yeah,
and of course how RoleCatcher can be your secret weapon.
absolutely.
We've given you a solid foundation, but like any cutting-edge field, this is just the starting point.
It is.
The real excitement lies in what comes next, right?
Absolutely.
And that's what I want to leave you with as we wrap up this deep dive. We've talked about how fast this technology is evolving, but what does that actually mean for the future? Like 5, 10 years down the line, what new specializations within metal additive manufacturing do you think might emerge? And how can you, as a potential metal additive manufacturing operator, position yourself not just to be a part of this revolution, but to lead it? Keep those questions in mind as you explore this incredible field. And until next time, happy job hunting.